2 years ago, we went back to West Virginia for my the high school reunion. 45th, do the math, I know. And there were 3 days of activities. There's the beach thing at the little lake of the first night, and then the second night was the big golf tournament and dance, and then the third day was Sunday brunch at the governor's mansion because our classmate was married to him. It's now Senator Mansion and Governor's Mansion. Anyway, back it up. My mother's father died when she was less than 2 years old. My grandfather. In an incident in the coal mines. Not an accident, an incident. They're pretty certain he was killed. They had theories about who and why it was done, but he was killed in the mines. And his replacement, my step-grandfather, whatever, who the only one I knew on that side, people didn't talk about the original grandfather. So nothing was said. I knew somewhere along the way, I found out that I had another grandfather. Never knew much about him or where he was buried or anything. And even in adulthood, didn't know that. On this trip back to West Virginia, we're staying with my uncle, who lives on the farm that the replacement grandfather had built. And before we got down there, he said, I think I can find that grave where Charley Robinson is. That's my grandfather. I said, whoa. So we took the day and we found, it's a long story, a bunch of funny stories associated with it. But basically, it's up on this hill. Of course, in West Virginia, everything's up on a hill. There's a row of houses, their yards that go uphill like they do in West Virginia, and then forest. And that forest was the old cemetery. Not even a cemetery, just a burial ground. Depressions there in the ground, and some of them marked, and some of them not marked. And we traipsed around the woods for a while and finally found it. There was a little white headstone that Charley Robinson, that gave his birth date and his passing date. And the first time in my life I'd been that close to my biological grandfather. It's sort of a nostalgic thing. It was terrible. It would have been used for hunting and kids playing, and there was a wire fence sort of over on it. There's leaves and all kinds of brush around it. It's just really disgusting. And I thought that I don't care who he is or what he did, he deserved better than that. We couldn't do much to clean up the site, but I thought I'd come back and write a song about him. It went over and over in my head a bunch of times, and this is sort of the way it came out. Way back on the side of a mountain, in an old coal mining town, there's a lonely little headstone on the hill about halfway down. It's hidden by brush, covered in leaves, and shadowed by old oak trees. Charley's gone, his memories fade, and all that's left is me. He left a loving wife, a sweet little girl, my mom, and another one on the way. Aunt Charlene, we'll never know what went on in the bottom of the mines that day. Whatever he did or said that day, he paid the price for someone's sin. We all paid a price that day when Charley maybe come home again. He's been lying there in that lonely spot most of a century. Charley's gone, his memories fade, and all that's left is me. Charley, what did you say or do to make him do this to you? If you had come home that night without a fight, my mama could have grown up with you. You've been lying there, you missed it all. You could have been someone to me. Charlie, you're gone, your memories fade, and all that's left is me. Charley Robinson was my grandpa. He's been alone there all this time. Life went on, the world forgot about the sadness he left behind. All that's left is this little white stone and a broken up family. Charlie's gone, his memories fade, and all that's left is me. And all that's left is me.
Yeah, that's a good song.
And Diane really liked that one.
That's a good song.